Deep inside the forests of Southeast Asia, something is emerging, and it's not just animals in the trees. Strange figures, caught slipping through the brush, don't match anything we know. Their movements are unnatural, their shapes unsettling. What's really hiding out there? What these cameras captured is nothing short of shocking. The world has seen some weird animal hybrids, but this one was like nothing anyone expected. With the body of an armadillo and a face that looked strangely human, it was already unsettling enough. But the creepiest part? It was moving its head, as though reacting to something around it. It was like it wasn't just an animal, but something much more eerie. Nature never fails to remind us how strange and mysterious it can be. Plyosaur Discovery. The ocean is home to some of the most mysterious creatures, and sometimes they wash up in the most unexpected places. In Ireland, a massive creature was found on the beach, leaving scientists in awe. They thought it might be a pliosaur, a prehistoric marine reptile with enormous jaws and razor-sharp teeth. These ancient predators ruled the seas millions of years ago, but how did one end up on land? The discovery sparked wonder. Could there be more lurking in the deep, waiting to surface? The ocean has endless secrets, and finds like this remind us just how little we truly know. Beach Mystery. One quiet morning, something strange washed up on the beach, and it wasn't just driftwood. It was a large, pale figure with a long tail and humanoid arms. People crowded around it fast, pointing phones and flashlights, whispering about what it might be. Some said it looked like a mermaid. Others weren't so sure. Whatever it was, it didn't move. Officials showed up later, loaded it onto a truck, and drove off. No press, no answers, just silence. Till now, no one knows what that thing was. But everyone remembers the day something not so human landed on their beach. Living fossils. Way up in the mountains, someone found tiny creatures swimming around a lake that looked straight out of a dinosaur book. Tadpole shrimp. Small, weird, and seriously old. These guys have been around for over 300 million years, long before humans ever showed up. Their shell-covered bodies make them look like little tanks. And the craziest part? Their eggs can just chill in dry mud for years and still hatch when water shows up. Finding them alive today is like spotting a living fossil, proof that not everything from the past stays buried. Jaw dropper.
Better not fucking eat me now. Look at them fucking teeth on that.
A kid walking near a quiet lake saw something strange washed up on shore. It had a wide, bony head and a mouth full of needle-sharp teeth. Not something you'd want to step on. He poked it with a stick, revealing a scary-looking predator, most likely a pike, known for speed and a brutal bite. But this one looked more like it came from a horror movie than a fishing trip. Its exposed jaw and glassy eyes made it even creepier. Photos of the find blew up online, and people couldn't believe it came from a regular lake.
Fuck's sake, man, this fucking thing's humongous!
Glider surprise. A boy was wandering through muddy trails when he noticed something jumping around. Big, round, and kind of clumsy. He thought it was just a fat toad, until it climbed a dried-up bush and made this soft, squeaky noise. Not a toad, not even close. It was a Sunda flying lemur. And no, it doesn't actually fly. It glides, like a furry little parachute with claws. This one looked freaked out, probably lost, or just nervous. The boy recorded for a bit, then backed off to let the strange little creature calm down. A wild find that looked like it came straight out of a cartoon. Ocean visitors. Somewhere off the coast, a man cruising in his boat spotted something strange. Figures swimming beside him. Not dolphins, not seals. They had long hair, smooth movements, and they actually waved back. He said they were mermaids. Yeah, real ones. They didn't hide or vanish. They swam like they belonged there, like this was their usual hangout. In places like the Dominican Republic, where ocean myths run deep, stories like this never really fade. Whether it was a rare animal or something else, the guy swears it wasn't a joke. Beehive Beast. In a quiet forest, someone caught a dark, hulking figure on camera, just standing between the trees. It looked like Bigfoot, tall, silent, and totally out of place. People held their breath as the figure slowly moved toward the light. And then, nope, not Bigfoot. Just a guy lugging a massive beehive through the woods. He was covered head to toe in bulky gear to keep the bees off, which made him look 10 feet tall from a distance. What looked like a cryptid was just a beekeeper with serious dedication. Giant Tortoise.
Do is they'll put their nose into the water and run out of bananas and eat more.
Tortoises are known for their slow pace and gentle nature, but this one, it was massive. With a thick, domed shell and sturdy legs, it was a giant of the animal world. It likely belonged to a species like the Aldabra or Galapagos tortoise, which can live for over 100 years. A woman, probably a caretaker, fed the tortoise as it stretched its long neck forward, moving calmly and unbothered by the world around it. Seeing one of these giant creatures up close must have been a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Nope, he is in the scratching zone. 100.
Beach mystery. Walking by the shore, someone spotted a weird shape on a rock, long, dark, and dried like it had been there for days. It looked like a sea monster at first. Its black skin had this crispy texture, almost like burned rubber. At first glance, people thought it was something alien, but after checking it out, it turned out to be a dried-up eel. Still creepy though. The way it was just lying there, twisted and stiff, made it feel like the ocean tossed out one of its secrets. It's one of those things that makes you side-eye the waves a little more next time. River Beast.
To see the fabled creature.
The entire village gathered before sunrise, drawn by the same unbelievable rumor. Someone had caught a crocodile the size of a truck. When people arrived, they saw it with their own eyes. And yeah, it was huge. This monster croc was over 18 feet long, and at first, it just laid there, calm, too calm. Then it snapped. It thrashed like crazy, flipped a rice cart, and nearly broke through the ropes holding it. People ran, some screamed, and a few tried to help control it. It took nearly an hour to calm down, but they finally did it. A wild moment. Spiky surprise.
Ada saya punya taripang. Ini pinam taripang nanas.
Sea cucumbers usually don't get much hype, but this one, total showstopper. A woman stumbled upon a weird, spiky creature underwater and had to share it online. It wasn't just any sea cucumber. It was a pineapple sea cucumber, thick, bumpy, and covered in little spike-like bumps. It looked like a fruit that got lost at sea. But behind that rough look, it had a pretty important job. These funky creatures help clean the ocean floor by eating dead stuff and recycling nutrients. Gross? A little. But also kind of awesome. It's nature doing cleanup duty, with style.
Taripang nanas.
Water horror. In a muddy river somewhere in Southeast Asia, a group of villagers stared at something floating just beneath the surface. One man reached in and slowly pulled up what looked like long, soaked hair. Then, a pale face. Everyone froze. Some backed away. Others filmed. The air went still, except for whispers and the sound of water dripping off what they had found. It didn't move. it didn't speak. Stories of water spirits and river ghosts go way back, and this moment felt like one of those tales coming to life. Nobody stuck around for answers. They just knew one thing. It was time to go. Fairly certain.
That's a fairy.
Fairy tales are full of tiny, magical beings zipping through forests and glowing by moonlight. But what if someone caught one on camera for real? That's exactly what happened when a girl filming by a peaceful lake noticed something small and winged darting through the air. It wasn't a blur or a bug. It looked like a real fairy. While most fairy sightings turn out to be insects or birds, this moment left everyone wondering if she actually filmed a little piece of magic. So what was it really? Was it a fairy? Or was there another explanation?
Oh my god, yo, that's a fairy. I'm recording this with an eye.
Tail twist. This wasn't your average lizard. It had the body of one, sure, but that tail, way too long. It almost dragged behind like a tiny snake. Brown with white stripes, it blended perfectly into the dirt and leaves. Someone spotted it and got a closer look, only to realize it was a snake lizard. These reptiles are harmless, even though their shape can totally freak people out at first. No venom, no bite, just funky vibes. The extra tail is part of what makes them special. It's like nature couldn't decide between a lizard and a snake, so it made both. Dolphin stranger. Lately, mermaid videos have been flooding everyone's feed, but one recent clip stood out big time. A group chilling by the ocean was watching dolphins when they noticed something odd swimming with the pod. It moved like the others, but it had arms. Real, human-like arms. That's when things got weird. People freaked out, zoomed in, re-watched it, and yeah, it didn't look like a dolphin at all. The figure vanished into the water seconds later and was never seen again. Whether it was a hoax or a real sighting, it definitely left people thinking twice before calling mermaids a myth. Drifting monster. A woman in Aceh, Indonesia, captured footage that had viewers doing double takes. A huge, dark shape drifted through the ocean, and for a moment, it seriously looked like some kind of sea monster. Some folks were ready to call it Indonesia's own Loch Ness, but others were quick to point out it might have just been debris floating around, maybe a tree trunk or a tangled net. The ocean can play tricks, especially when waves and lighting hit just right. Still, that short moment sparked a ton of debate. Sea creature or driftwood, depends on who you ask. Forest standoff. Deep in the forests of Indonesia, something intense was caught on camera. A small tribe, untouched by the modern world, stood face to face with machines destroying their land. They raised spears and shouted, trying to protect what was left of their home. The sound of chainsaws and falling trees echoed through the forest. These bulldozers weren't just clearing land. They were tearing into a way of life that had existed for generations. All of it for nickel mining, fueling the growing demand for electric car batteries. The clip hit hard, a raw reminder that not everyone is part of the modern world, and not everyone wants to be. Cyclops shark.
Sure, we had cut her up and found that inside was a shark with one eye.
A fisherman out in the Sea of Cortez found something no one believed at first. A one-eyed albino shark. And no, this wasn't fake. Scientists confirmed it was the real deal. While cleaning a larger shark he'd caught, the fisherman found a fetus inside, and that's when he saw it. One giant eye in the middle of its face. It looked like something from a cartoon, but it was a rare genetic mutation called cyclopia. Experts said it wouldn't have survived in the wild, But it had nothing to do with pollution, just nature throwing out a wild curveball.
The shore, we had cut her up and found that inside was a shark with one eye.
Pignosed rat. Deep in an untouched Indonesian forest, scientists stumbled on a rodent that didn't look real. This rat had a long face, floppy ears, and a nose shaped like a pig's snout, so they named it the hog-nosed rat. It also had weird shrew-like teeth and oddly long hairs near its lower body, kind of like certain Aussie animals. The team had spent days setting up traps, hoping to find something rare, and they got it. This little guy is now sitting in a museum, adding another strange chapter to Indonesia's growing list of wild animal discoveries. Walking shark. Scientists diving off the coast of Indonesia weren't expecting a shark that walks, but that's exactly what they found. Instead of just swimming, this small shark used its fins to stroll across the sea floor, like it was out for a casual walk. It crept over coral and rocks, searching for its next snack, and while it wasn't fast, it was smart. This trick helped it hunt in shallow waters where other sharks couldn't go. It's not just cool, it's evolution in action. Indonesia just keeps turning up creatures that feel straight out of another planet. Giant washup. Nature doesn't mess around, especially when something this massive rolls in. A 50-foot-long sea creature washed up on a beach in Indonesia, and it was a full-on spectacle. Locals gathered fast, snapping pics of what looked like a sea monster straight out of a nightmare. But scientists stepped in and confirmed it was a decomposing baleen whale. Its body had swelled from built-up gas, giving it that terrifying, bloated look. And the smell? Unbearable. Usually, whales sink and become food for deep-sea creatures. But this one floated back up, possibly after a ship collision. It's not every day something that huge just shows up. Thumbroof.
Let me get I gotta film this, Ange.
Out in the jungle, someone stumbled on something that looked totally fake, until they touched it. Near a tree, half buried in dirt, was a giant, rock-solid thumb. Not a fossil, not a carving, just a massive, petrified thumb, complete with a thick, human-like fingernail. It was heavy and weirdly detailed, like it had once been part of something real. The person who found it didn't stick around long after. Could it belong to an ancient giant? Or maybe one of those legendary creatures people swear are out there? Whatever it was, it wasn't supposed to be found.
Was outside, been mowing the yard and been pedaling around.
Fake struggle. Saltwater crocodiles in Indonesia have been caught pulling off one of the slickest survival plays ever. They fake their own distress. These giant predators pretend to struggle or drown in shallow waters. But the moment anyone gets too close, they lunge. It's like nature's version of acting, only with real consequences. These crocs are already scary, growing over 20 feet long and swimming like torpedoes. Now they're adding mind games to their list of talents. Locals are saying it's becoming a pattern, which might mean this isn't just a fluke. It's a strategy. Smart, deadly, and terrifying. Jungle giant. On Sumatra Island, something enormous had locals freaking out, and it wasn't a legend. A reticulated python stretching a jaw dropping 49 feet and weighing nearly 1,000 pounds was found alive and well. The tribe who found it didn't just capture it, they treated it like royalty. The python became a star in a local animal park, drawing crowds like crazy. And get this, it was fed up to 5 full-grown dogs a month. That's wild. Scientists were stunned by its size, with many calling it one of the biggest snakes ever documented. Nature just casually dropping boss-level creatures like it's no big deal. giant buzz.
Something I've dreamed of seeing for about 9 years.
Wallace's giant bee made a shocking comeback in Indonesia's North Moluccas. This thing wasn't your average buzzing bug. It was the size of a grown-up's thumb and had jaws like a stag beetle. 4 times bigger than a honeybee, it looked more like a flying tank than an insect. A group of researchers had been hunting for it for days, not knowing if it even still existed. Then they found one, a lone female, tucked away in a termite nest up in the trees. It was real, alive, and proof that the wild still hides creatures we thought were long gone. Sea mystery. In Cambodia, a massive sea creature washed up and people lost their minds. The bloated, saggy body had weird shapes and no clear features, so of course, some called it a kaiju monster. But no, this wasn't some movie villain come to life. Experts say it was likely a decomposing whale or a giant fish, distorted by gases and seawater. When these creatures wash ashore, their bodies look freaky. Parts swell, faces sink, and people start guessing. Even if it was just a dead whale, the mystery and excitement had everyone buzzing. Because honestly, who doesn't love a little weirdness? Weird grin.
Hi, little friend. Oh, you're cute. Hi, you're cute.
This fish didn't just look odd. It looked like it was halfway through cracking a joke. Its mouth was twisted in a way that made it look like it was smirking, and instead of swimming off, it stuck around as the person filming reached out and gently touched its head, like it was some kind of underwater puppy. Experts say some fish just grow up looking funky thanks to their species or tiny genetic quirks. But weird or not, this one totally stole the show. It had the kind of face you'd expect in a meme, not a reef.
Hi, you're cute. Hi, friend. Hi, friend.
Tangled mess up. Snakes are already scary enough, but this one looked straight out of a nightmare. In Indonesia, villagers stumbled on a giant python, and things got intense fast. One guy got caught in its coils while others jumped in to pull him free. It turned into a full-on wrestling match with people shouting and struggling to control the beast. After what felt like forever, they managed to cage the python. And yeah, it was all caught on video. Tailless chase. A video of a tailless crocodile sprinting across wet ground had the internet doing a double take. Crocs aren't exactly known for running, but this one, it bolted like it had somewhere to be. The twist? It had no tail. Viewers couldn't stop watching, wondering how it was even alive. Crocodiles don't just drop tails like lizards do. If one's missing a tail, it likely lost it in a brutal fight, or a run-in with a bigger predator. No tail means less balance in the water and slower swimming, but somehow, this little survivor still had serious moves. Monkey rescue. What started as a calm boat ride quickly turned into a rescue mission. As the boat glided over the river, something dark emerged from the water. Long black arms reached up, trying to grab hold. For a second, it seemed like a creature never seen before, but then it became clear. It was a monkey. The little guy must have fallen from a tree and found himself stranded in the river, struggling to stay afloat. Once aboard, he relaxed, enjoying the boat ride as if it was all part of the adventure. Underwater hunter. In the depths of a quiet lake, something strange shifted beneath the surface. It was long and dark, with a sharp, snake-like neck and eyes locked onto its target. But this wasn't some mythical creature. It was an anhinga, a bird built to hunt underwater. Unlike most birds, the anhinga dives deep into the water, gliding effortlessly and using its sharp beak to strike fish with precision. Once it caught its prey, it gulped it down whole, then perched on a nearby rock to dry its wings. With its fierce look and hunting skills, it almost seemed like a warrior of the water. Armored catfish.
That catfish, it's got spikes running all the way.
Catfish are already tough creatures, but this one looked like it swam straight out of ancient history, with sharp spikes running down its body like living armor. It was clear that this fish wasn't one to mess with. Anyone who got too close would definitely feel its spiky defense. Its rough underbelly was just as impressive, built to withstand the harsh environment of jungle waters. Seeing this prehistoric survivor up close was a reminder of the strange and dangerous creatures lurking beneath the surface, ready for a fight.
That is crazy. Look at that.
Two-headed shark. Sometimes nature throws curveballs that cannot be explained. A rare silver Arowana, famous for its sleek reptilian appearance and amazing jumping abilities, stunned everyone with not one, but two heads. At first, it seemed like a trick of the light, but both heads were real, each one as alive as the other. Mutations like this don't happen often, and considering the Arowana's reputation as a symbol of prosperity, this two-headed version was certainly something special. Double the heads, double the fortune. Double trouble. A two-headed cobra? People in a village in eastern India couldn't believe their eyes when they spotted this rare snake slithering through the area. Measuring just 30 centimeters, the snake caused quite a stir as locals marveled at it, even offering it milk, thinking it held some kind of mystical power. Experts explained that its unusual condition was likely due to an embryo failure or environmental factors. While mutations like this are rare, a two-headed cobra is certainly something no one would ever forget. Giant croc.
Yeah?
Imagine paddling through a river and suddenly coming face to face with a massive crocodile, one that could be over 20 feet long and weigh more than 2,000 pounds. That's the reality for anyone who comes across a saltwater crocodile, or salties, the biggest and most powerful crocs on Earth. These expert hunters stay hidden in muddy waters, patiently waiting to strike. They blend into their surroundings so well that their prey never sees them coming. If you spotted one of these giants up close, would you snap a picture or get out of there fast?
Yeah?
Anaconda Climb. An anaconda climbing a wall? That's not something you see every day. These colossal snakes, some reaching over 30 feet long and weighing more than 500 pounds, are built for strength and stealth. They usually stick to swamps and rivers, but this one had its own plans. Crawling up a wall like it owned the place. Seeing a snake this huge move with such ease is both incredible and terrifying. Imagine stepping outside and finding one of these beasts casually scaling your house. Mysterious find.
Look at the teeth on it.
A peaceful walk in the bush quickly turned into an eerie discovery when a man and his dog stumbled upon something strange. While the dog sniffed the air and darted toward the grass, the man followed, only to find the remains of an eel-like creature. It had sharp teeth, strange breathing holes on the side of its head, and no legs. The man couldn't help but wonder, what was this creature? Its features didn't match any known animal, leaving the mystery hanging in the air. What could this be? Nature never stops surprising us.
I like canine teeth, eh?
Don't destroy it.
No.
Giant snake encounter. Imagine walking into a jungle and coming face to face with an enormous, prehistoric-looking snake. Thick, heavy, and hanging there like it owns the place. This creature was so massive, it could have been a giant python or an anaconda, and if it had been slithering near people, there would have been some serious attention. But the craziest part? Someone actually pulled this beast off a bulldozer. recorded the whole thing, and lifted it out of a truck. It's a sight most people will never forget. Emerging from afar. While hiking through the forest, a couple of friends made a chilling discovery. They came across the body of a tall, gray alien. At first, they ran in fear, but curiosity got the better of them, and they went back for a closer look. To their horror, the alien was missing one of its legs and appeared to be dead. What happened to it, and what did it encounter before it met its fate? Let me know in the comments below. Epic insect battle. Arizona is no stranger to intense wildlife, but this sight was on a whole new level. A giant tarantula hawk wasp, one of the toughest insect hunters out there, dragged a massive grasshopper like it was nothing. Known for their insane strength and brutal sting, these wasps can take down creatures way bigger than themselves. Once it locked onto its target, there was no escape for the grasshopper. Arizona already had rattlesnakes and scorpions, but now epic insect battles were happening right on the sidewalk. Real-life Smeaggel. In 2022, a tourist captured footage of a thin, pale figure sneaking between the trees, with long limbs and a hunched posture. It looked eerily human-like, and the way it moved made it seem like it was aware of its surroundings. Was it a person? A trick of the light? One thing's for sure, it wasn't a peaceful forest walk after that encounter. Cloud Giant. Everything was normal, just a village, a helicopter, and people watching from below. But then came the noise. Loud, deep, like something tearing through the sky. Everyone looked up, and there it was. Not a plane, not a bird. A massive, nearly invisible shape, gliding through the clouds like it was cloaked. But the camera caught it, clear as day. A giant UFO, moving slow and smooth, almost too big to believe. The way it blended with the sky, unreal. It didn't blink, didn't flash, just hovered. The crowd stood frozen, phones out, not really sure what they were seeing, but knowing they'd never forget it. Twice shelled. This turtle wasn't your average reptile. This one had two heads. It had a rare condition called bicephaly, where an embryo doesn't fully split during development, creating a two-headed animal. Each head seemed to have its own personality, making it seem like they were trying to figure out which way to go. Though it might sound bizarre, turtles like this can live long, healthy lives with the right care. Nature sure knows how to throw a curveball. Now it's time for today's subscribers' pick of the day. You've got to see this one to believe it. A strange creature that looks like a mix between a lizard and a fish, but with something else going on too. The wildest part? It seemed to smile when touched. Some people thought it looked like a baby mermaid, while others guessed it might be a mutated animal. Whatever it wasn't just some random creature caught on camera. It had a reaction, an expression, that unsettling little smile. Yeah, that's the one that'll stay with you. Nature's always got a way of keeping us guessing.